Hello everyone, my name is Gloria and this is Team 4. I'm presenting on case study number 3, Google Prediction Markets. First, let's look at a little bit of a background on the story of Google Prediction Markets. In 2005, Bo Cargill and his colleagues, the five Googlers, as they call themselves, they launched Google's internal prediction market, a project they developed during their 20% time. Employees at Google will allowed to use 20% of their work hours each week to pursue projects within the company that were not directly related to their jobs. Prediction markets on the internet at the time had proven to be accurate at predicting results of political events. So the Googlers wanted to see if they could also use prediction markets within companies to make projections about events of interest to the company. Cargill was inspired by James Sawicki's book, The Wisdom of Crowd. In that book, the theory that was presented was that collective intelligence of a group of people produced better or more accurate information than the wisdom of any individual within the group. So the Google prediction market was created and modeled after the Iowa electric market, which focused on predicting the winners of political elections in the US and abroad. All markets were open to all employees at Google. So how did the Google prediction market work? Google's prediction market worked very much like a stock market, but unlike the Iowa electric market, participants in the Google prediction market did not use money to trade. Traders made use of Googles, a fictional currency. The markets were primarily based on the company's important corporate objectives, but also markets included product launches by a competitor and fund market related to sport or entertainment events. Employees used the market to trade with each other by buying and selling securities, each of which had its own price. Traders were encouraged to trade according to the true beliefs about the future and not just with a motivation to win. And so people participated largely for fun, for t-shirts, and for bragging rights. There were concerns with this prediction market. The experiences of the previous 7 quarters had shown that Google prediction markets were good at predicting events. However, the group of active traders each quarter was small. A lot more people who signed up only made 1 or 2 trades, and most of the traders were from specific departments like engineering, sales, operations, or product management department. And so the five Googlers, they were looking for ways to retain more traders and encourage employees at Google to be more active. So looking at ways to encourage more trading, we came up with a few recommendations. First, to make trading a part of company culture. Make it a symbol, like the t-shirts. Employees loved getting t-shirts, and so it was a part of the culture. So it's important to make trading also an important aspect of what it means to be part of the Google company and promote values such as creativity and self-recognitions that people would know that here at Google, among the other things that we do, there's also the trading in internal prediction markets. We also suggest providing substantial rewards in addition to cash. And this is because the story tells us that most people at Google did not really trade because of the cash incentive. People were trading for the fun of it, they're trading to get t-shirts, to get bragging rights. And so we propose a combination of hard incentives for the limited randomly chosen winners. However, we also propose incentive for all other winners, things like an extra vacation day or a travel voucher, a priority opportunity to attend a special event, high profile conference, ticket to sporting events and concert, and things like that that can animate people and encourage them to participate in this prediction market. We also propose creating value by analyzing data each quarter, because in the article it says there was so much data that were collected, but the Googlers really hadn't analyzed much of it. So it will be important to emphasize the value of the prediction market beyond just being cool or just fun curiosity. It's important to bring in intelligence teams to analyze the data at the end of each quarter, gain a deeper understanding of specific issues, and present the insights and the recommendations to managers in each department. So that way, this market is the tool for running the company as opposed to just something that people do for fun. And also, we suggest making it more personal and engaging because the markets were anonymous. There was no way of knowing what kind of trades and positions the other person is making. So we suggest that at the end of the quarter, participants have the opportunity on the platform to reveal their trades and discuss their positions with other employees. And so that way, it's not just trading and then getting a t-shirt at the end of it, but it creates a space for engagement, for discussion, and for sharing ideas. And also we suggest encouraging new employees that are fresh in the company to use this trading market as a way to become familiar with the company's culture and some of the company's products. Is it a good idea to encourage all employees to trade in these markets? We agree that it's a good idea to encourage all members of the company to participate. Why? Because, first of all, it's the very essence of the crowd intelligence theory on which the market was built. The more traders are involved, the more accurate the outcome. And secondly, involving every person at all levels in the company will ensure sustainability of this platform in the long run. And also, why is it good to encourage all employees? Because if it was decided that a certain group of people would not trade, that may discourage a lot of people from participating. Somebody may be uninformed at the beginning, or maybe they performed poorly in one market. That doesn't mean that they will continue that way. So it's just easier when everybody else is engaged. And at the beginning, for people who are uninformed or who are new to trading prediction markets, we suggest giving them a rundown of how the system works, including all the risks. And once they have all the information, then everybody should be allowed to trade. We also recognize that for at least a good number of people in the company to get involved in a system like this, a lot depends on the company culture, because a highly competitive and collaborative environment like Google make it easy for people to come together, because the culture was already created for pursuing creativity, for innovation. The company in fact allowed its employees 20% of time every week to think creatively outside the box. But in a different company where people are highly segmented and working in isolation, it might be really hard to implement this kind of system. Will most managers welcome prediction markets within a company? That would depend on a number of issues. First of all, the company's mission, values, and culture. Companies that pride themselves on innovation and newness are more likely to welcome prediction markets. Companies such as consulting firms, tech giants, financial institutions, and also companies that fit within the adaptability culture as per Richard Daft's 4 types of corporate culture will be more likely to embrace an internal prediction market, because in these companies, managers actively create change by encouraging and rewarding creativity, experimentation, and risk taking. And that was exactly the kind of environment that employees at Google were in that allowed them to come up with something such as the internal prediction market. And also, a lot would depend on the leadership style, because traditional managers who believe in a top down way of leading may have a hard time buying into an internal prediction market, because they believe decisions come from the top. So they will not buy into a crowd intelligence idea. But managers whose leadership is innovative, decentralized, and inclusive are more likely to consider an internal prediction market. A lot will also depend on resources, because in the case of Google, Google did not have to spend extra money to create this system. They had engineers within the company who had the skills, they had the ideas, they had the motivation to create this. But other companies may not have that. They might need to outsource engineers, they might need to outsource certain services. So the availability of resources, will play a significant factor in determining whether managers work on prediction markets or not. In conclusion, we would say we already know from the story we read that the markets work better as they get more traders. And so it is in Google's advantage to encourage employees, although not everybody in the company will join this activity, but at least if there's a good number of people who are actively trading on the regular basis, it can provide the kind of outcome that will help the company understand its own businesses, but also get insight into competitors. And we also know from the story that the 1000 is not very important for most people who work at Google. Therefore, the company needs to increase and diversify incentives in order to keep participants engaged. And in addition to that, we recommend making trading more social and personal so that at the end of each quarters, employees can look forward to engaging with each other and discussing the experiences and what they learned. And the last point that we will mention is that there's a huge amount of market and trading data that is yet to be exploited. Intelligence teams should dig deeper into the data to find out if some kind of markets work better than others, and also figure out how to use the results, because there's already a lot of data that's not been used. So it's important to exploit all the data that these prediction markets provides to the company. Thank you for watching our presentation, and that is all that we had for today.